Hello world, welcome to my fifth tutorial solving problems with programming. This tutorial is about the fig code called sum of numbers, that is the WSQ4 week 5, and I just want to display a quick error that I had to face in doing this program. So we have now the assignment, what to do, and we have a picture, and then we have the assignment that is create a program that asks for a range of integers and then prints the sum of the numbers in that range inclusive. You can use a formula to calculate this, of course, but what we want you to do here is practice using a loop to do repetitive work. So for example, the sum from 6 to 10 will be 0 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10. And notice our sum starts with 0. Why? Because it tells the definition of the sum, that is the sum of infinite values, and in the sum tells a property that if I have a range between one number, the lower limit, higher bound limit, it will use the sum of this series until I get to the higher limit. So at first you see that it starts like 0 because it tells this property that that if you want to do the 6 as the low limit and 10 high limit, between the numbers from 0 to 5, it will be the 6 lower than the other these limits, and will be 0 as it stands for this property that the lower number is greater than the higher level. It will be the sum and a neutral sum that is 0. So that's why the sum starts with 0, and then it is correct. Well, it's not correct. It's not allowed. Now the sum from 6 to 10 is allowed because we have now declared the limits between 6 and 10. That's why. And then we add each number in the range provided by the user, just for fun. What is the mathematical formula to do this calculation? The mathematical formula to do this calculation is this one. Use the property of the sum that is called for adding sums that are infinite. And the formula for do this is this one. You just have to give the number n, the number of the higher number, and if the lower limit starts with 1, it will be this one, and if it starts with another, there is another formula for that. That is this one. Well, this is the properties. If it's 0, this 0. We have other that I recently closed. is this one. Is this one. Sums. So in this part, we have now the other sum property, the formula, where the lower limit is not 1, and we can separate to these sums of 1 and make the sum with this formula where it stands for 1. That is a formula, but we are going to do the loop, so we don't need it now. So the example will be here. We will calculate the sum of numbers until you provide. That is the message to the user. Then to the user, give me the lower bound, 1. Then the upper, 10, and the property will be 55. So the thoughts: how will you change your program to handle the user giving you the upper and lower bound in the ground order, or perhaps some other user input? I did it, and I will explain my code. So right now I have my code in this one, and I have, as always, my library. I include iScript, that is the library to call all the functions or inputs and outputs of data in language C++, mastery 1 and 8. And then we have using namespace std, that in C++ we need a command that every time goes with the structures of input and output, so data, that is called std. But with this command helps grading this std out of the main because the machine factorizes them. So we have the beginning of the program in main, and then we have the have to declare the variables, in my case x, x2, and P1, operation 1, initialized in 0, and sum initialized in 0, and declare e. Then we have a cout, that is a mastery topic 4, that is command now for data in form of text, and we say to the user we will calculate the sum of integers in the range you provide. Then we have other cout that please give us the lower bound. Then we have 2 points, and then we have the mastery 4 again, command data in form of text, and then we have the cin, that is mastery topic 5, that is command allows enter data for inputs for the user. In this case, the user enters the value of variable x, that is the lower. Then we have like a flag that the x2 equals to x, x2 equals to x, or in this instruction of the for loop, it tells that the value of the variable x is given to the variable x2, like a flag, to use it later. Then we have another cout, give us the upper bound, mastery topic 4, command of data in form of text, and then we have another saying that of mastery top 5, that this command allows the enter for inputs. In this case, the user enters the value of variable n, that is the higher. Then we have to ask ourselves that if the x is less or equal than the variable n, that is the range of the limits, and not change the values. On the other hand, we will execute all of these statements of the if. So in this if, it will tell we have a new mastery topic, that is the use of loops with for, and we have a for. So for e equals to x and equal, and then e is less or equal to n, it will be E++. So with this command for is utilized as a loop for execute all the instructions that has this loop until does not complete that the variable E will be less or equal than the n while it is increasing one in this variable E initialized from the value x that was an input value given by the user. So like I said, this thing when I have now I am now in the instructions of the for, and I put x equals to I, or in this instruction of the for loop, it tells that the value of the variable E is given to the variable x. Then we have in this instruction of the for loop, it tells that the value of the variable x x times 1 is given to the variable of 1, and then we have this process. In this instruction for the for loop, it tells we have an accumulator that tells the value of the variable sum plus the variable of P1 is given to the variable of P1. In this case, we have a variable whose function is save the value of the operation sum until the loop for finishes with all the sum of the integers in the range you provide, save in variable sum. And we have the end of the for. Then we have the a text that is a cout, that is the command of data info text. In this text, we show the authentic output of the value enter of x and n that are the limits in the terminal interface, massive topic 4. So we have the sum from x2 to n and is, and then we have an else. So what happens if the lower value or the limit is higher than the value of the higher limit? It will be this case else. This case else, that is cout. This command is auto data info text space. Will be executed if it doesn't appear, and tell the user that is that we have an error. Order of limits. Run the program again and put the correct limits. And end program now. And end line. Command out of data info text. And then we have the end of the program. So that is what we have to do. So I hope I help you in some way. So see you next time.